And then we're going to do a few songs. We'll sing a few songs together. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Lay all your fears, all your doubts aside. Let go of all the hurt you hold inside. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart and receive the love of all who gather round. You are worthy of this gift of love right now. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Who'd have known that who you are is enough? Who'd have known you could be so loved? And now you know, yes we do. And now you know, you are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, open up your heart. Let's open up our hearts. Open up our hearts. Carrie's back in town. We missed you, Carrie. Can you turn my guitar down in this monitor a little bit? Let's all stand and do I Am the Thinker together. I am the thinker who thinks the thought, changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought, have the power to change my life. You ask me who I am. I am wisdom, I am light. So much more than meets the eye. Cannot be mine. I am the thinker who thinks the thought, changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought, have the power to change my life. You ask me who I am. I am beauty, I am joy. More than meets the eye. Cannot be mine. I am the thinker who thinks the thought, changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought, have the power have the power to change my life. Over the bar. Changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to change my life. Come and get your love. What? Metal in the head now. Hey, hey, what? Metal in the mind, inside, oh, oh, oh. Hey, hey, yep. Metal in the head, yeah, you know it. Come on and show it. Hey, hey, yep. Now because you're blind. So divine, oh, come and get your love. 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 Hey.
Fill the entire room. And then allow it to expand so that you connect. And allow it to expand even further so that the entire earth is surrounded in a bubble of love. It is that love in your own heart that connects us to all things. Feel it. Own it. And know that no matter how much love you give away, there is more to give. And in fact, by giving it away, you expand it within yourself. You are kind, compassionate, loving, spiritual beings forever and always. Don't forget that. And now let us declare it so, and so it is. There's a reason we come here every Sunday. And our statement of being declares that reason. And I want you to declare it out loud with me right now. We are here as love to celebrate the one power, the one presence in our lives, in this community, and in the universe. And today, we have our daily word reader. Each week, somebody from the community volunteers to be our speaker. And today, we have Carrie Myers, who hasn't been around for a while. Let's give her a warm welcome to welcome her back home.
Good morning, and thank you. It is always good to come in on dry roads from Claire's home. So it really takes something to travel an hour and a half. But the blessing is, Bob and group, is I actually do tune in every Sunday morning. So that's the beauty of technology, is God and divine and community is always there. It's only a television away. But anyways, I digress. Today's daily word, Sunday, October 31st. I find my protection in the light of faith and truth. I smile and act frightened as I recognize the neighborhood children who come to my door wearing scary masks and costumes. Children of all ages enjoy playing make-believe. Pretend fright is part of the fun of Halloween. I smile and I act frightened as I recognize the children from the neighborhood who come to my door wearing scary masks and costumes. Children of all ages enjoy playing make-believe. Pretend fright is part of the fun of Halloween. Now and then, in response to an unexpected and unwelcome challenge, more serious thoughts of fear seep into my mind and upset my emotional well-being. At first hint of unease, I remember that all of the protecting power of God is as near as my next thought. I say no to fear and yes to faith. My confidence grows as I practice the divine presence, discovering not only the protecting power, but also the guiding love and wisdom God everywhere I go and in everything I do. For who is God except the Lord? And who is rock besides our God? The God who girded me with strength made my way safe. Psalms 18:31-32. Thank you. Have a happy Halloween.
Thank you, Carrie. Lovely to see you back. Unity is part of a worldwide movement, and there is a worldwide vision that we share here at Unity of Calgary. And I'd like you to affirm that vision with me now. We envision a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And how do we do that here at Unity of Calgary? It's through our mission statement. Please affirm with me. We are a welcoming, vibrant, spiritual community that inspires hearts and transforms lives by expressing our divine essence. In other words, just be yourself. And if that's your desire, then you are in the right place. Upcoming events here at Unity. Next week, speaker, Reverend Doug Craig, letting go and letting God do it. We must be clear that the Spirit in us does the work through us and by means of us. Our job is to provide clear direction and attention along with a clear, unobstructed channel through which the Spirit can bring into form whatever we desire to experience and express in our life. Coffee chats in the park. Well, it's getting a bit too chilly out there, folks. People have had enough, so that's it for the coffee chats in the park until next year. Coming up in 2 weeks, Hearts and Hands. This is an opportunity. It's going to be on Zoom, and it's an opportunity for all the members of Unity and guests, if you're welcome to join us. We're going to have a Zoom meeting at 2:30 where we discuss what's going on at Unity, what's coming up, where we want to go, get some feedback from our community about what they like, what they don't like. It's a wonderful opportunity to build our community together. And I think it's very important that as many of us show up as possible in order to get the broadest picture of what we want for Unity of Calgary. So please, everyone here, everyone out there watching in Zoom land, come to our meeting on 2:30 on November 14th and share your divine essence with us. Let us know how you feel and what you think. Potluck, November 21st. There's going to be a potluck after our Sunday experience. And so please bring your favorite dish. Come enjoy breaking bread together after the service. I love the potlucks because we get to sit around these great big tables and chat and connect and get to know each other on a deeper level. In other words, build community. And after that, right after that, we're going to have our second book study session. The Law of Divine Compensation. We had some very interesting discussions on the last session. We discussed the first and second chapter, and we never even got through the first chapter. So we're going to, Claude and Cecil have said they're going to tighten things up, and they're going to co-facilitate. So I'm looking forward to that. And we're going to be discussing the first 5 chapters of the book. So please, if you haven't got the book, order it quickly from Amazon or... Pardon me? Oh, that date is not right. It is the 21st, November 21st. That's when our potluck is, and that's when the book study will be. And then, movie matinee. We have a spiritual matinee each month. And this month's spiritual matinee will be on the final Sunday of the month, November 28th at 2:30. And the movie is Reconnect. And then after the movie, we're going to have a dialogue about our experience of the movie and what it has meant to us. So come on out. I really enjoy these book study dialogues. We get to see I get to see things in a very different light with so many different people expressing their experience of reading the book. And finally, where to find us. Website, Unity of Calgary, Unity, Instagram, YouTube, so many ways to reach us. The best way to know what's really going on here is through the newsletter. So if you haven't signed up for the newsletter yet and you'd like to receive it, it tells you everything that's going on. You get an email once a week, and it explains usually on Friday, and it tells you all about what's happening in the coming Sunday and all the events that are coming in the future. So there is a sign-up sheet at the welcome table. If you're interested, just sign up there. And now our speaker. We were earlier in the month, you were told that Taran Puri was going to be here today. Well, he's not. He called me up a few weeks ago and said, Bob, I'm trying to work this out. I've been talking to Spirit for days now and going into meditation, and Spirit is calling me out of the country. I don't know what to do. And so he said, I sat down for 6 hours, and Spirit finally said, you need to follow your heart. And so he said, all right, I'm going to get his friend. He's going to get his friend, Stephen Harvey, who just moved back into Calgary from 14 months. Well, actually, he's been traveling for almost 20 years. But he spent the last 14 months in Greece and has just decided to come back home to Calgary. And when he got here, he's going, he and his partner were going, what were we thinking? Snow, he comes from this beautiful warm beaches and into winter. But he said, this is where my community is, and I need community right now. And I talked to Steve on the phone, and I said, I'm so grateful that you volunteered to take Taran's place. And he goes, I didn't volunteer. Taran voluntold me that I was going to be speaking here. And so he's actually in the midst of moving. He's going to be moving into his new place tomorrow. So isn't it wonderful that he was able to come here and share some of his wisdom with us in the midst of all this chaos that he's going through? I'm deeply grateful. He's going to be talking about the power of decision. How did a boy from Glasgow end up here? Steve Harvey is a powerhouse, a no-nonsense, healing, wise, funny, down-to-earth Scot with a gift for identifying blocks and patterns that keep people stuck. Steve has developed a fresh approach for transforming fear, doubt, and uncertainty into fuel for brilliance, confidence, and creativity. I'm very much looking forward to hearing him speak. Let's please welcome Steve Harvey as our guest speaker today.
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me here. As Bob said, I was volunteered, but that's okay. I'm grateful to be here. We'll begin the talk today with a little meditation. So I'll have you gently close your eyes and just bring your awareness to your breath. Don't change it, but simply observe the breath as it enters and leaves the body. Become aware of the support of the chair beneath your body and of your feet resting on the floor. Become aware of the space that your body occupies. The space in front of you, behind you, above and below, and all around you. And gently bring your awareness to your heart center, where you'll see a beautiful 12-petaled lotus flower. In the center of the flower sits a beautiful antelope. Just go ahead and look into its big, soft, gentle, dark eyes and make a connection. And then watch as the antelope begins to skip ever so gracefully from petal to petal. Each of the petals represents life. And you may notice that the antelope has a tendency to remain on the same few petals, to linger there longer than the rest. But just allow it to experience each and every one of the 12 petals. All that life has to offer. The pain, the pleasure, the sorrow, the joy, the darkness, and the light. And then watch as the antelope returns once again to the center of the flower, where it lays down to rest. And once again, go ahead and look into its big, soft, gentle, dark eyes and make a connection. And watch as the antelope begins to fade from view. And the flower fades from view. And allowing your whole physical body to simply drop away. And what remains? And you may ask yourself, who's having this experience? We're the observer the observed, and the process of observing are one. Who am I? And take a nice, deep, gentle breath. And as you exhale, gently open your eyes. So how did a boy from Glasgow end up here? How do you end up doing what you do? This question was asked, or these questions were asked to me from a Hollywood superstar. The here he was speaking about was a private island in the Caribbean called Parrot Key in the Turks and Caicos Islands in the British West Indies. He said, I've spent a lot of time in Glasgow filming, and Glasgow is one of the craziest places I've ever been to. The things I've seen in Glasgow, I've never seen anywhere else. He said, how did a boy from Glasgow end up here? Now the interesting thing was, the day before, I received an email from a long-time client from right here in Calgary. And the email read, Steve, I know you're working with a lot of the most recognizable names in Hollywood, and I think you'll find this article interesting. And the title of the article was True Story. And it was written by a guy by the name of Paul Harvey, no relation. But I was intrigued. And so I read the article, and it tells the story of a young, a hard-working man, family man, who had moved his family from New York State to Australia for a work opportunity. And part of the man's family was a handsome young boy who had aspirations of becoming a movie star. And he was biding his time. He had a job working in the shipyards until an opportunity arose within the movie industry. And one night as he was walking home from work, he was attacked by 5 thugs who were trying to rob him of his money. And he didn't want to hand over his money, so he decided to fight back. And he ended up receiving a terrible beating, so much so that he was left for dead. And the police found him, and they thought he was dead and were taking his body to the morgue. And en route to the morgue, the vehicle, the ambulance, paddy wagon, whatever it was, went over a bump, and he let out a gasp of air. And the policeman in the back realized he was alive, banged on the window, said, get to the emergency. So they drove to the emergency, and they managed to save his life. But he was left really disfigured. There goes his dream of being a movie star. And so one day he was in church. He was kneeling in a pew sobbing, and the priest came along and said, what's wrong, son? He said, look at me, Father, I'm a freak. The best I can hope for is a freak show in the circus. I had dreams of being a movie star. And the priest said to him, if you promise to devote your life to Christ, I will get you the help you need. And it turns out that the priest's best friend was a top plastic surgeon. So they struck a deal. And the young man was Mel Gibson. Okay? So here I was, not 24 hours later, sitting across from this guy who was asking me, how did a boy from Glasgow end up here? Mel Gibson. And before I could answer him, I had to ask him, how did you end up here? And so I shared that I had read this magazine article the day before. And I said, is that a true story? And he said, well, some of it is. Not all of it, but some of it is. He said there was another incident where I was badly beaten. He said I came in second best in a barroom brawl. He said and my face was messed up, smashed in like a pumpkin at the end of Halloween. And he said, and I required some stitches and things to make me look the way I do. He said, it's why I'm filmed in shadow or from the opposite side. And he showed me this zigzag scar on his cheek. So how do we react when something stressful happens in our life? When life throws us a curveball, how do you react? Do you see it as an opportunity to be curious, to grow and evolve? Do you jump on the blame game? When I asked Mel about this, I said, how did you end up doing what you do? And he said, you know, I could allow my past to define me, or I can transcend it. He said, but I've always had a spiritual practice, and this just deepened it even more. And when I met him, he had just finished filming The Passion of the Christ. And he shared with me that he said, you know, this film was not about my faith or about me. He said it was far bigger than that. He said, and all the while I was making the film, I really felt the Holy Ghost working through me. So where are those times in your life when you felt that presence working through you? When life throws you a curveball, do you tune into that presence? Life is full of ups and downs. Pain, pleasure, sorrow, joy, darkness and the light. Every single person you have a relationship with will be nice and mean, supportive and challenging, attractive and repulsive. Therefore you're stabbing you in the back. You know. But with each relationship and each event, there is always an equal benefit and drawback. It's a universal law. And they're here to serve you, and they're here to allow you to tap into the power within you, to tap into that Holy Spirit operating through you. The other thing that Mel Gibson said, he said, it all starts with decision. I can decide to let my past define me, or I can decide where I want to go. Now, it's great that we want to make a decision, but what do you do with that next? Bob Proctor likes to talk a lot about frequencies, how we all operate on frequencies. Everything is energy, including our thoughts. Now, if you're operating on a frequency down here, and this is where you want to go, it's operating at a higher frequency than where you're at. So if you want to get there, you've got to move yourself to that frequency. You've got to be there. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. See? The other thing is you've got to set the intention. Then you give it your attention. Then you put it out to the universe, to God, or as John D. Martini likes to refer to God as the grand organizing designer, to handle the details. And then you must detach from the outcome. But you must have present moment awareness to recognize the gift, the opportunities when they show up. Without that, it could be sitting right in front of you or sitting right beside you on an airplane and you don't notice it because you're too busy living in the past or the future. Okay? So it all starts with decision and starting from where you are right now with what you've got right now. Too many people say this is where I am and that's what I want to get to, and when I get there then I'll feel good. The reality is you've got to feel good now. But be in the mindset, this is where I am. So how did a boy from Glasgow end up working in a private island in the Caribbean with all the A-list celebrities, world leaders, you name it, the movers and shakers of the world? Years ago, I had studied with Deepak Chopra at the Chopra Center, Ayurvedic therapies. And when I came back to Canada, I needed this special piece of equipment. And I couldn't find any to buy. So along with a buddy, we created our own. And I ended up selling these to other spas and stuff throughout North America. And one day I got a call from a company in Fairfield, Iowa, saying that one of their clients, a private island in the Caribbean, needed to buy some equipment. And they needed a trainer. And she said, "Are you a trainer in Ayurvedic therapy, Steve?" I said, "I am now." As Richard Branson said, if a great opportunity presents itself and you don't know how to do it, say yes and then learn. Okay? So I said, "I am now." A week later, I got a call from another company, the company that actually designed the Chopra Center, asking me the same question. "We need a trainer, we need equipment. We hear your equipment's the best on the market." So I thought, great. Where is this? He said, "The Turks and Caicos Islands." I hadn't even heard of the Turks and Caicos Islands. So I was doing some research, Parrot Key, never heard anything else for a couple of months. And one day I was in Dalhousie Chapters bookstore. I don't know if it's still there. And I'm looking at the magazine section, and there's a travel and leisure magazine, and on the front cover is the infinity pool at Parrot Key. As Deepak says, when something unusual happens, ask yourself, what's the karmic significance? So I bought the magazine, I went into the Starbucks, sat down, had coffee, and opened it up. And I found that the owner of the island's name was a lady by the name of Mrs. Ong from Singapore, very wealthy person. And I also found the general manager's name. So I searched everywhere online, and I found his contact details. And I wrote to him. And I said, 2 people have asked me to come and train your staff, but I haven't heard anything else. And he said, "The spa, I've got nothing to do with it. That's the owner's pet project. If she wants to be in touch with you, she'll find a way to be in touch with you." Now, most people would have let it go at that. Not me. So I bought the magazine, as I said, and I brought it back to my office over in Kensington, and I had it in the reception area. And it must have lay there for a couple of months. And one of my clients came in and she said, "Steve, stop being so cheap, Scottish. Buy some new magazines." And I said, "Leave that. I'm going to go work there." And she said, "In your dreams." And I said, "Have a look around this room. Everything in this room started as a dream." Every morning I used to come into work, I'd sit down for 5 minutes and I'd look at that magazine cover and I'd visualize walking around the infinity pool at Parrot Key. And every night before I left, I spent 5 minutes visualizing walking around that pool. Remember, have the intention, give it your attention, take action, put it out to the universe to handle the details and detach from the outcome, but have present moment awareness to recognize the gift when it shows up. One day my wife comes back from yoga class. She said, "Steve, is it okay if we host Donna Farhi, who's one of the world's renowned yoga teachers?" She's an American lady that lives in New Zealand. She said, "The lady who normally hosts her is in the process of selling her home, and it's full of packing boxes. Would it be okay if we host her?" I said, "Certainly." So Donna Farhi was coming to town to teach this yoga retreat, and she ended up staying with us. So on a Saturday evening, we decided that we were going for dinner. And we're driving down 17th Avenue, and Donna Farry turns to me in the car and she says, "Steve, have you ever heard of Christina Ong?" And I said, "Yeah." She says, "You have?" And she said, "Is it the same Christina Ong that I know?" I said, "You know her?" And she said, "Yes, she flies me from from New Zealand to Singapore to give her private lessons." She said, "In fact, the last time I was there, she asked if her friend could join in." And I said, "Certainly." She said, "In what? Barbara Streisand." I said, "It sounds like it's the same person we're talking about here. The lady that I know of owns a private island in the Caribbean." She said, "Yes, Parrot Key." So at the end of the yoga retreat here in Calgary, my wife and I gifted Donna with an afternoon of Ayurvedic Panchakarma sessions. And after which she said, "That was the most profound experience I've ever had. I've had Ayurveda from all the gurus in India and all the top people around the globe." She said, "No one does Panchakarma the way you and Pat do." I said, "Oh, thanks." So she was leaving to head to Kelowna next. And she said, "I'm going to tell Christina Ong about you." The Thursday evening, I had a phone call from Christina Ong. She said, "3 people have told me about you. I'd be foolish not to pay attention to this." And the rest is history. So again, you must have the intention, give it your attention, put it out to the universe to handle the details, and detach from the outcome. But you must always have present moment awareness to recognize the gift when it shows up. And it can come in many forms, you see. So I'll just close with an old Celtic blessing, which clearly shows the interconnectedness of the 5 great elements, which according to Ayurveda are the building blocks for everything in creation. May the road rise up to meet you, earth. May the wind be always at your back, air. May the sun shine warm upon your face, fire. And the rains fall soft upon your fields, water. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand, space. Thank you.
There are times when I am burdened by the weight of my life's design. There are times in my struggles when I swear I might lose my mind. Oh, and yet always I come to a place where I stand tall, and I rise up above who I thought I was. Yes, I rise up, become who I'm meant to become. There are words I have spoken, they belie who I thought I was. are things I have done that made me wonder what have I become. Oh, 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 and yet always I come to a place where I stand tall, and I rise up above who I thought I was. Oh, 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 yes, I rise up to become who I'm meant to become. Oh, oh, though I know that my life has a greater design, it is still up to me to allow the divine to flow through my life, so I can rise up above who I thought I was. Oh, oh, yes, I rise up to become who I'm meant to become. Oh, oh, yes, I rise up, 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 become who I always was. Oh, oh.
Thank you, Anthony. Are you all ready to rise up? Eh? Have you got your dream in mind now? You know how to manifest it now, thanks to Stephen's talk. Wow, what a wonderful story, very inspiring. Just to hold that clear intention. So for all of you in the Divine Essence groups, this is a wonderful story, is it not? We hold an intention for ourselves each week, and now we know exactly how to manifest it by surrendering it to God, trusting God to take care of all the details, which means we don't have to figure it out. We don't have to know how to manifest our dreams. All we need to know is what the dream is, and hold our attention on that. And then pay attention, because the universe will come, but you won't know how or why or when. So it's so important to pay attention. A very powerful message. Thank you. Now with that inspiration in mind, let us go into our time of sharing our time and talents and treasures. Without all of you doing just that, there would be no unity community. I hope you realize that you are the creators of this community by the time that you give to us, by your treasures, and by your sharing your talents. And I see it every week. So many people volunteering, helping out, setting up, tearing down, baking, so many different ways, playing music, so many different ways to serve that all make such a difference. And I'm so grateful for all of you. So everyone, pat yourselves on the shoulder. Good job. And even if you just come here and sit and take it all in, that too is a gift. Your presence is a gift. And it is this community that supports and sustains me, and I'm very grateful for.
And if you bring a yo, then
Yo!
we appreciate that too.
Yes, we haven't heard that yowl for a long time. How wonderful. Thank you, Carrie and Anthony, for the reminder. So just know that for the treasure, you can donate here. There's envelopes at the back. You can donate, go online, donate at unityofcalgary.ca or .org. Thank you, Tina, for correcting me, .org, or by going to our website. And let us stand now, and Anthony's going to lead us in our offering song to give with an open heart, and then Cecil's going to come up and bless our offerings.
I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for my life. And I trust that a higher power will always be there to provide. And that's why I give with an open heart. That's why I give with an open heart. Well, I place my faith in the Spirit, and I welcome each and every day. But now let go of all my troubles and worries. A new abundance always comes my way, and that's why I give with an open heart. That's why I give with an open heart. I'm gonna give with an open heart. Yeah, I'm gonna give with an open heart.
Wow. Thank you ever so much, Steve. Thank you ever so much, each and every one of you. It's been fantastic this morning. And please, jump back one notch. Please, join me as we bless this wonderful offering. Divine love has me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
And we also have a blessing for the children. The children here now, the children in our lives, and of course our very own inner child. Let us bless all of them here now. We love you, we bless you, and we appreciate you just the way you are. Now, let's take a quiet moment. You can please take your seats again. And bring to our awareness anyone that you think could use a prayer right now. I know there's so many people in the world today that could use a little love and support. So just in your mind's eye, bring them to mind. We have a prayer box up at the front here. There are prayer requests at the back. You can write them. You can just send them in your mind. You can go online and send them to unityofcalgary.org or prayer@unityofcalgary.org. Just bring your attention to them and hold them in your own heart with love. And trust that what they need is coming to them. See them as whole already, having everything they need. And then surrender it to God, knowing that the universe is there for them. And whenever they ask, Holy Spirit will be there to provide. And so it is. And if you need a prayer, you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY at Silent Unity. They're open 24/7. And if you haven't tried it, I recommend it. They'll give an affirmative prayer for you, and I find it very uplifting. We also hold other churches each month. 2 churches, 2 Unity centers in Canada. And this month we're holding the Unity Church of Agape in Scarborough and Unity of Montreal. So send your love out to them. See them having all the blessings that they deserve. And now, please join me in affirming our prayer of protection out loud together. The light that is God surrounds me. I am the light. The love that is God enfolds me. I am the love. The power that is God protects me. I am the power. The presence that is God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Amen. And now, please stand again with our beautiful band and sing along.
Let's all say hi to the members of our community who are at home. Karen, Wayne, Adele, Flo. I think this says Verna, Sonia, and then Sam. Let's all say hello to them at home. Whenever I am burdened by the pressures of this world, I return to love. Whenever I am lost, my soul cannot be hurt, I return to love. I return to love. I return to love. And every worry disappears when I return to love. Oh, everything becomes so clear. All because I return myself to love. Whenever I am prone to judge the path that I am on, I return to love. Whenever I am torn when the covenant is gone, I return to love. I return to love. I return to love. And every worry disappears when I return to love. Oh, everything becomes so clear. All because I return myself to love. Oh, love is the only pure word speaking of. Oh, yes, love.
Lovely. Yes, let's keep returning to love, right? Where else are we going to go? So now we're going to sing our closing song. Please, everybody make a big circle around the outside of the room, and we'll sing Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Just do it again.
Well, thank you, Anthony and the
Do
band.
this one again, eh?
Thank you, Steve. And thank you all. Have a wonderful week. Stick around and have some talented baking from Ariana, I believe. And Ross. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Ross.